Alright, let's just make sure everything is inside so you guys can see everything and everything's good. Alright, cool. Hey everybody, Debo here. Bringing you the ongoing and coverage on the situation of the PTR with patch 2.3. Mostly regarding towards the Witch Doctor class, but also sprinkling a little bit of other things that was going on today. We're going to talk about the season exclusive items, and then also what the current meta is for the current for what people are doing in groups and what have you not. First and foremost, I just started seasons a couple days ago. It's been out for about a week and a half now, but I got the buff. I was able to catch myself up pretty well, progressing pretty well through doing everything. I've been pushing the health tooth build. Oh, let me see. Okay, there we go. I've been doing pretty good. I mean, well, I can't say it's pretty good, or I mean, it's a 2,000% drop rate. So I mean, it's just a matter of time if I find all the gear that I want in terms of being ancient and what have you not. The big things I'd like to just noteworthy or talk about first is about the new Witch Doctor exclusive legendary, Henry's Prequisition, and it's actually a pretty interesting offhand. Looks like the little drooping kitty. If you guys didn't know, on the Chinese server, you can actually, before this actually came out, I do believe you were able to buy the transmog because they have a different soul set of services, and you actually could have had this as a little extra little effect. But little kitten, pretty hilarious. But it actually is probably one of the most solid as offhands basically Blizzard has created since they made it so Ukip and Serpent can work with zombie dogs and they take your damage for you, a certain percentage of it. The reason why I say this is actually a pretty strong offhand is that the first time the enemy does damage to you, and this is actually up to 60%, the first attack that you take makes it so you take 60% less damage, and also makes it so that it charms the enemy. Now, that doesn't seem like too much, or pretty, like, you know, Debo, that doesn't seem anything too fancy. What's the whole spiel? Is it really worth it? I would have to say my current playtesting is very much worthwhile, and it's very solid. Now, I know some people like, especially with the Helltooth build, they like to run the, how do you say, the Thing of the Deep for the extended pickup radius for the Grave Injustice. And of course, you know, with Zunimasa build, this is not going to be an option. Or, I'm sorry, with the, not Zunimasa, but this I don't think will be too much of an option if you're going for the Carnival build. Just due to the fact because, you know, you want to use Focus and Restraint and all, what have you not. But if you're using the Helltooth build, maybe a Zunimasa Melee build, the cat is actually on point. I mean, that seems a little bit crazy, but when you're getting to when I noticed I start pushing towards the higher levels and I was getting hit by certain monsters with like mortar, you know, in normal situations I get hit by the first mortar, then I'd be like, okay, that didn't hurt too bad. Then the second mortar was just straight up almost killing me, and I was realizing that, you know what, the cat actually makes a pretty big difference when you're first engaging the enemies or something happens to slip and hit you up, because basically, whenever an enemy hits you, they have to at least hit you once before it deactivates or activates, and then the first hit you take is going to mitigate up to 60% damage. So you get hit, it mitigates 60% of that first hit. If the monster never touches you, it never goes into effect, but if he does manage to land an attack on you, it actually charms the enemy, which is actually very strong. You probably comboed in with the Act 3 necklace that makes it so certain charm targets take more damage, but overall, it's a very solid mojo, and I was actually pleasantly surprised to see how well it was working. Mitigating that damage initially when you get hit by the monster, and then automatically charming them is very strong. I don't think there's much more they could do to the cat offhand to make it even better. The one interesting thing is, though, I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's going to be running Zunimasa because they would rather run Focus and Restraint. But I mean, definitely at least in the early beginning of the seasons, or if you're climbing, you know, the rift early on and you don't have that much mitigation, you don't got your esoteric, you know, get to a certain amount of level where you just, the gym can carry you through with surviving all that damage and what have you not. It's a very solid, very solid offhand weapon that shows that, you know, pretty much Blizzard can develop some pretty solid stuff. I was pretty happy about this. Just like the Little Man's Finger, that was another solid ring that I liked, and I like how they comboed it into the Helltooth, and that ended up being really great. So, in terms of Blizzard developing a new Witch Doctor seasonal exclusive, I like it. It combos in with the Witch Doctor very well. I've been using it and enjoying it very much, and it actually is a very solid mojo. It actually does something. you know, the damage mitigation, and it auto charms the monster. That's more than enough to start off a certain fight versus an elite, and like I said, it doesn't activate until they hit you. So once they hit you, you take the less damage, they get charmed, everything works out pretty great, and they could be make a little bit of difference between life and death. It's not going to revolutionize Witch Doctor. A lot of the situations you probably won't even run it, but I mean, if you do decide to use it, it's not a completely terrible item, and like I said, I love the charm ability of it. So I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the only exclusive Witch Doctor Legendary for this next season, for Season 4. And everybody's going to be getting this gem, I think. Bane of the Stricken. Each attack you make against an enemy increases the damage it takes from your attacks by 1.6%, or 1.60%. And then it levels up every level you get it up, increases more and more. So I'm assuming within the next 4 levels will be up to 2%, which is pretty nice because it's a stacking damage buff. And gain 25% increased damage against against bosses and Rift Guardians, which is another solid thing. Definitely like that damage increase. I think it's going to probably be one of the strongest gyms. If it makes it out like this, this will probably be the one new gym everybody's going to be using. And it seemed to be working pretty okay with my pets. Like, my pets were actually doing the damage that it needed to do. I had to still double check that 100%, but I'm like 90% sure that it's working with pets as intended. So the more damage that you do, I'm sorry, the more damage that you do, the more it's just going to do more and more and more damage. Now, I don't think it's going to be a really great... Well, if Carnival ends up going through and it's okay, and I'm thinking now, I think Carnival is still going to use Simplicity, and probably Bane of the Trap, maybe. They might try to alter out the Simplicity... Well, I don't think they're going to alter out the Simplicity gem, because that's a lot of damage increase. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, because most people are running the Esoteric as their third, and if you're wondering what the Esoteric is... Oh, I'm sorry, esoteric. I'm so bad. Esoteric. I don't know why I add the ass in front of it. That's pretty terrible, but I've been saying that the whole time. But we'll just say esoteric. A lot of people have been running the esoteric for the damage mitigation. Running Bane of the Trap because that's just a classic gem and it does pretty solid damage. And with the slowing effect and auto activates itself. And then for Carnival, they've been using Simplicity. Now... it could change at any point. I have to say that the Bane of the Stricken is very nice for the pet builds where, like, you're going heavy melee, like you're going to Zunimaso with melee with SMK, all your 23 fetishes out, because every time your fetishes land damage over and over again, if it's applying Bane of the Stricken like it's supposed to, the pets are going to hit harder and harder on the same target, so it's not going to solve the issue of your AoE problems, but it's still going to make it so that the monsters can just do more and more and more damage and really ramp up that damage on the certain target. If it's working with pets as intended, I'm assuming that it's working like with Ephacius Toxin Gem and Pain Enhancer. So this is the kind of example you want to see in terms of like when a legendary gem comes out. The other ones were so-so when they came out, mostly because everybody was stacking damage. We weren't worried too much about defensive stuff. But I mean, even some of those old defensive gems that are now starting to see a lot more play now. I don't know if it's mostly because some people got them to really ridiculous high levels, or just, you know, people wanted to combine that in for get their survivability instead of worrying about wearing a Unity or anything else like that. But in terms of the new legendary gem, very solid. In terms of the new the new Cat Mojo, the legendary exclusive Witch Doctors, another very solid item. Hopefully they go back and alter the last season's exclusive legendary gem, the one that was it gave you 10% crit chance on targets that were frozen or chilled, and turned all your cold attacks ability to chill. That was an okay gem, but not really. It didn't add any damage or do anything too great. But like I said, I like the new gem. It's going to be interesting seeing how it goes when it gets leveled up. And I don't know if it's going to be used necessarily, like I said again, for Carnival build. I could see it kind of used in Hell 2-bit is actually doing pretty good, but the big thing is I'm running a lot of pets. I know definitely in Zunimaso Melee, I definitely would probably see you probably would see Bane of the Stricken in combination with, I'm thinking, the Enforcer gem, and then maybe a Bane of the Trap for the last one. Especially since now we got the Kanai Cube and we do a lot of different combinations of stuff, and not to mention we can actually run Furnace with some of the melee pet builds that we're suffering to help speed up the killing on the elites and what have you not. But I still think it's going to be dominated next season predominantly by Carnival for #1 for Witch Doctors. Now if they do the change and it ends up being worse, then everybody's just going to end up going playing Helltooth with Gargantuan with Raffle Protector, like how I got the setup right now, where you're basically using the Fire Garg. If you guys haven't seen that video, check out the YouTube channel. I might leave it in the annotations, a link to the Helltooth video. But overall, the two new items are good. The new Legendary Gem and the new Legendary Offhand. I mean, even if you don't want to use it, it's still a pretty cool transmog. So kudos to Blizzard for making those solid items. Of course, you guys know that these items are going to be included in season and non-season. The coils of the first spider, which is pretty good because now they made it so you take 30% less damage when you actually start using fire bats. So what I've seen some people do is run a Helltooth build, and they use, instead of like Fetish Army, they'll swap out and use fire bats, cloud of bats to help run in or mitigate some damage, or they'll just use it to channel and mitigate damage if they got, like, say for instance, monsters shooting mortars at you. They'll channel the fire bats just so you take less damage so you don't die to them. I don't know if that's really the greatest thing to do. I haven't tested myself, but I have been seeing some people do that. And then, of course, you know, the Drom's Bracers, which everybody knows, which makes it so you can cast 3 zombie walls or Wall of Death, which is pretty, I think, crucial to the Helltooth build. But some people actually don't even run it. They run Strong Arm Bracers with Pirans and Paranados, so to each their own. Outside of all that, I would load up the leaderboards right now and show you, but I would lag horribly because for some reason it likes to load up everybody's character model when you do that. Witch Doctor highest is 63, highest Wizard is 69, highest Barbarian 75, highest Monk I do believe it's 73, highest DH is, I would like to say 66, I think it might be 69, but I think it's 66. Let me think here. Highest Wizard 69, so Wizard is 69, Witch Doctor is 63. Barbarian is 75. Crusader, I think, is around 66, 67. I really do think DH, well, I know Monk is up to 73. I know DH, I think DH is close to 70s as well, too. Did I miss anything? So we got the Wizard, we got the Witch Doctor, we got the Barb, we got the Crusader, and we got the DH and the Monk. No, that's all 6 classes. And pretty much for the group play, it's all dominated by Barbarians and Monks. So that means that if they want to actually make a balanced experience, they're going to have to nerf some stuff, because currently all the top teams are, like, I think it's like, for 4-man team it's 3 Monks, 1 Barbarian. For 3-man team it's double Monk, 1 Barbarian. For 2s it's 1 Monk, 1 Barbarian. And that's just because I guess they're using the Barbarian to pull stuff around, and the Monks just do their ridiculous damage. Well, I better not say ridiculous damage. We'll just say they do their very high-end damage. It's still early in the PTR. I mean, I don't think they're going to release it anytime soon. A lot of people have been asking me, well, Debo, when is this patch going to drop? You know what? In all honesty, guys, I don't think it's going to come out until September. I know that seems a little bit crazy, but I'm currently doing this video on August the 2nd. 7 days to my birthday. Whoop, whoop. I don't think it's going to be out for a while, because they still have to implement one more patch, which might come this Tuesday, that's going to change how the carnival works and do some other changes. This probably might be one of the last patches. But then again, if it doesn't go well, they're going to have to do another patch to fix it. So I really don't think we'll see this in September. Plus, it's supposed to give us a month ahead of time before the season's over, but last season was only 2 weeks, so I don't really think we're going to see this patch till September, if they want to nail it right and not have any problems and do another 4 months. Outside of all that, that's pretty much the only thing that's going on really with seasons. It's a real good way to reflect on everything that's going on in seasons, and to kind of see where the classes stack up with, because, you know, people don't have thousands upon thousands of Paragon levels where it's going to dramatically affect the different outcome. Like for on live servers, like the Carnival build can do 67, 68 now, whereas in PTR it's like 63. So we'll just have to wait and see. But the new items, I have to say, I do enjoy and I did like using. And outside of all that, hopefully Blizzard will pull together when they do the changes to the Carnival. And when they do, I'll make a video and let you guys know what's going on. I got a whole Carnival set ready to go to test out. It can run up to like 57. It's not the greatest, but it can get what I need to get done and see how the build is basically working, and if it's worse or better. So look forward to that coming out. But other than that, that's the only thing I have to say about Season 4 progression. I played through the Season 4, leveled up, was able to get the, before the buff actually came through, I was actually able to get the leveling done within 5 hours and 3 minutes, which was fantastic. I felt like if I can optimize it more, I can get it done by 4:30, 4 hours and a half, 4:25, and this is like solo by yourself, no help. If you did it in group, you probably could cut the time in half. They redid the whole crafting system, so that all the crafting mats you get at low level are used at high level, and the things you can craft are actually very useful now. And not to mention they reduce the cost of like reforging some items like through the Enchantress and also creating some gems and stuff. And plus they made it so Leoric's Crown is a guaranteed drop between levels 18 and 65. I think you can get it before then, but if it's before level 18 it won't have a socket. But that's pretty amazing because if you can actually, when you're leveling up, getting King Leoric's crown or whatever, or getting to that point will actually be very much worthwhile. I know in the 24-hour guide I'm going to have to figure out how we're going to combo that together to get people where they need to go, and how I want to let people know, okay, this is the point you go in the story mode and you get the guaranteed King Leoric's helmet, and this is when you don't. But all in all, in terms of the leveling seems to be very streamlined, and the crafting at low levels is fantastic, so I like those changes. I like the 2 items they put in for the Season 4, and as long as they can get... I don't know. I think they should just make it so that all classes can do about 70. I don't think classes need to go higher than 70 right now, and maybe in the future patch. I mean, maybe 70 on seasons, and then 80 they can push if they have a lot of Paragon level stuff in the non-season. But we'll have to wait and see. They're definitely going to have to fix the issue with Barbs and Monks or buff all the other classes. And I think the easier thing to do is just nerf down Barbarian Monk a little bit. Not saying that they deserve it or not. They can buff up the other classes, but currently on season it's very dominant. And actually we'll take a little peek real quick on the non-seasons. Hopefully I don't break my client. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a look at the normal real quick for player. We'll do normal. And yeah, looks like they splashed in the Demon Hunter, but it's pretty much Monk, Demon Hunter, Barbarian. And then this is double Barbarian. And I mean, so you kind of see, oh, there goes a Witch Doctor right there. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Looks like they can't go too high because the crazy thing is just there's no more perma CC, so that can change the game. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but pretty much on season it's been dominated by Barbarians and Monks. So hope you guys liked the video covering about what's going on coming on in Season 4. Not patch 2.3, but specifically focusing on the next season that's coming out. If you play off-season or you play non-season, this is not going to apply to you at all. And unfortunately, you'll have to wait to get the adorable little cute kitty mojo until the next season, or at least until the season's over. People might actually cause a riot for that. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, man, just keep stopping by my Twitch channel. I appreciate you guys all the support, all the contributors, all the helpers. The YouTube channel's been growing great. If you guys ever have any questions or comments, leave them down in the section. I usually try to do pretty good and respond to everything. I am working on the PTR guide as we speak. Everything is going very well for that. I'm going to release a big coverage of everything. And the reason why I haven't released it yet is because when I give it the final patch, or this kind of like this is going to be towards the end, and I can kind of say, okay, they're not going to update anything anymore, I can make one nice long post on Reddit and Diablo, Diablo fans and Reddit. Link everything in there, link all the videos, and break it down real nice for everybody so you guys can watch all that. But I gotta wait until Blizzard's done because I don't want to release that too early and then they don't change anything, or I miss a cover on the Carnival coverage when they change all that. So it's coming. And then also once the once the community buff goes away, I'm going to utilize that time to actually test more 24-hour runs where I'm basically practicing how fast I can level and what's the most optimal route to do, so I can update my 24-hour Witch Doctor guide. But anyways, that's enough rambling. Stopping right about at 18 minutes, so I better get out of here. So hope you guys liked the little discussion about what's going on with Season 4 and what they're doing and the current meta, what's going on and what have you not. The next video you guys probably will see is the update to when they change Carnival. So I will see you guys then, and I hope you guys have a good day.